If I were to try and identify something that might be encouraging in the very difficult effort to forge alliances both across movements and causes and among individuals, and I would agree with everything that the three previous speakers had said, it might be the ubiquity of social media. Now, we've learned a lesson. We shouldn't overestimate the political effectiveness of social media, but nonetheless, it does remain the case that it has permitted and continues to permit literally tens of millions of people from all over the planet to at least get in touch with each other and to know of each other's existence and to spread the news and to spread the word. And so I would think that if one could have a single, as it were, wish, it would, along the lines of what my fellow panelists have said, to find not so much points of identity, but points of powerful alliance with people across a spectrum of oppositional and reformist and sometimes more radically reformist movements. And not to forget, by the way, that this reaches, I mean, in Pearl Buck's own case, did reach into active work on behalf of women. Pearl Buck, by the way, in the 1930s, went around the United States on her own nickel, lecturing on behalf of the Equal Rights Amendment that had been introduced into Congress in 1921 by Alice, well, not by Alice Paul, but written by Alice Paul and introduced into Congress. I sometimes ask my students, whose grasp of America's history is sometimes slender, I said the Alice Paul or Equal Rights Amendment for Women was introduced in 1921. When was it ratified? And then a long pause, and I have to explain, that's a trick question, you see, because it was never, ever ratified. But Pearl Buck went around the country arguing on behalf of the Equal Rights Amendment in the 30s at a time when the opposition to it included most of the organized professional women's groups. And that, it wasn't irrational, by the way. There's a long historical and complicated issue here, but she was trying to be on the front edge of that movement, as she was trying as a white person to be on the, as close as she could to the front lines of American racial debates. And I want to mention once or twice that she was also trying to be a leading figure in the treatment of children who were handicapped and whose stigma was something she worked much of her adult life to try and remove.
Great, Peter.